Okay, today we will talk about lexical resource. This is one of the four marking criteria in which we will discuss how we can bring variation in vocabulary and what are the different ways which can help us to achieve it because it holds 25% of our score. So that's the reason I'm going to discuss about it today. Okay, what is a lexical resource? Lexical resource is all about how flexibly and fluently you can find the right words and phrases to convey precise meanings. Okay, what it mean the right words and phrases? It's mean one way we need to choose word to convey different ideas, like when we are giving different answers, but using the right word, like appropriate word, appropriate relevant word to that topic is always required. And one thing is that we don't need to think about too much, like about selecting those words. These words related to like topic are produced naturally. So this is also considered fluently, like we are using these words fluently. We are not taking time to think about synonyms or different words for the topic which we are discussing. So the more you improve in this area, the better your chance of securing a high band score. Okay, if we don't hold much vocabulary, sometimes it affects our fluency. Why it affects our fluency? That's the word some people complain. Like when some new topic comes in front of them, they are unable to speak fluently. Why they are stressed and why they are stressed? The main reason is that they are not finding words to explain their topic. So having enough vocabulary related to certain topics is also crucial. As I mentioned, in both speaking and writing tests, it holds 25% of your total score. So there are four different sub-marking criteria, and one of them is lexical resource, which means how there are different things like in which we talk about paraphrasing as well as vocabulary and how we are using these things accurately. Okay, one way is you have the word and then you can do it. But what are the other ways if you don't have word, then what you will do in the real exam in case there is a topic? So it is important to vary your vocabulary when your writing or speaking is being assessed. And one way to do that is to use different parts of speech of a word. How we can use different parts of speech of word? Let's see in the example. If you hear a word in your test question, you can reply with a noun or an adjective. Here is a simple question. So one way is if you are listening a word like do you prefer fast food or traditional food? But here we are listening word. So what we will do in the answer instead of answering with I prefer fast foods, what we will do actually I have a preference for fast food for the reason that. So what is the difference? But they are not using the word prefer. They are changing its part of speech. So I, if you're not understanding, you can mention that. But here we can see they have changed the word. What they use preference instead of prefer. And what is the difference? They didn't use another word. What they use just instead of prefer, which is a word, they use the word preference, which is noun. So sometimes we can show that we can use the noun adjective form of that word. It shows like we are varying the vocabulary. If you have any question, you still didn't get this point, you can ask it. I will explain it again.
Yes, ma'am, understood.
All right. So let's see. This is also a good way. Like they are easy to predict at the moment because we easily find preference word which is relevant prefer. So let's see another thing. Actually, I have a preference for fast food for the reason that so they show have a preference. They use a short phrase. In other words, word, well, I had say I have more of a preference for traditional cuisine because so what they say they use preference and how they say they change food word to cuisine. Last week in Monday class, we also discussed that how we can improve our answer. What is the difference between the good and like band higher student answer and band lower student answer? The answer which were good, they are not repeating the same word again and again. What they were doing, they were actually using the synonym of that word. So what they use, instead of using the full word, they also use cuisine. In other way, how they started, and they also using some phrases actually well. Personally speaking, I find they use find instead of prefer in place of verb. Traditional food more preferable, given that here they are using different form of that word, but using is a relevant to prefer, but this is a different form of prefer. So can anybody tell either what is the part of speech this is, a noun, verb, or adjective?
Ma'am, what word?
Okay, this is the preference was the word, but preferable is adjective. You know, when we usually comparing things, we also use adjectives like more preferable than this. So preferable is a adjective here. You can see they didn't use any new word. In the first context, what they use, they show find a preference for. So you find have a preference for. Preference was
Ma'am,
noun, and in other case,
ma'am, one
yes.
student is speaking something.
Sir, your
Yes,
voice is not audible. Can you say it again?
somehow.
Yes, it is clear, but it is slow. Can you speak loudly? Yes, we do practice here. Sometimes we discuss some important things which I find necessary. Like many people ask how we can improve, like how we can bring vocabulary and variation in our speaking, because this is one of the four marking criteria. So that's why I'm discussing it today. However, for the rest of week, we will usually practice test. So you can join the practice session as well. Sir, can you speak loudly? I am unable to hear clearly. Okay, we are discussing lexical resource, means um, how we can bring variation in a language. Like we're talking about vocabulary and which sources we can find helpful, and how we can learn some new words and we can use it in our practice test. So one way is to bring variation. If you don't know the word in the exam, we can use different part of speech which I have discussed, like preference, which is noun. We can use here. We used here find verb, and then what we have done, we used more preferable, which is adjective. So you can see the candidate use the noun form preference and the adjective form preferable instead of just copying the word prefer, which is used by the examiner. So one way is that I have discussed, we can, if we don't know the word to replace it, what we can do, we can use different parts of speech. Like if the examiner is using verb, we can use noun or adjective of that form. Okay, good use of collocations is important in your both writing and speaking tests. Okay, anyone know what is collocations?
Ma'am, I know, but at this time I just forgot about collocation.
Ma'am, can you explain little bit?
Mm, maybe it's how we can explain logical our answer. If we say a direct sentence first, then how we can explain it more by using different vocabulary.
I know collocation is using two words. If you're using two words together, it means they source. And let's discuss how collocation is used here. Good use of collocation is important in your IELTS writing and speaking test. Collocations are how particular words and phrases are grouped together. You can say, let me give the example. You can't say strong rain, but we say heavy rain. Even strong is the right word, but
Mm,
in the
yes,
context of heavy, with the heavy, strong is not right word. But we say if there is too much rain outside, but we say there is a heavy rain outside. I hope so. You got the idea.
yes, I got it.
And what about other participants? Have you understand what is collocation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And this was also the example of collocation. They use these words. I have a preference for. I have more preference for. So they use different words like they can't say some other word. I have to a preference. You can say they are using the words together, but they are correct in a way. So there are different ways. Even we use phrases like multiple words together. We need to make sure there will be no collocation issue there. We need to think about which other words belong with it when we use it. Even many words don't sound like a can you make a coffee? We can't say can you create a coffee. We usually say can you make a tea or coffee. So here create is not a good word, but we need to use can you make a coffee. So here I hope so you got the idea. So there are different words we can use. You can say that do the coffee. We don't say, we just say do the homework. Have
Yes,
belongs with it along with the article a plus a preposition for. Therefore the full collocation of the noun form is have a preference, and you can say how they use article with it preference for. So these are also the collocation even if we are combining adjectives, prepositions, articles. So we need to make sure there will be no collocation issue. Find something more preferable. So they can't say you can do something more preferable. Here we are talking about finding something. So we need to make sure there will be no collocation issues when we are grouping words together. Another way, this thing we also discussed in the previous class that we need to use less common words. One way to show the examiner you have a wide range of vocabulary is to use vocabulary that is less common. What it means? Let's see. Please remember that it is not a good idea to use vocabulary like this repetitively. Let's look at the example question from earlier and compare these two responses. I prefer traditional food because it is much tastier than. I'm a quite partial to traditional food because it is much tastier than. So you can say what you prefer and what you are partial to have the same meaning. But in the second example, this is more useful in your response because this collocation is not used very often. So you can say many people even give the answer prefer, but many people don't use this word I am quite partial to. So this is less common. Like this word is not common while answering. So we can use the words which are not very common in a real conversation.
Okay,
So
ma'am, I have
please
a
note
I
that whenever using less common words, you should always.
have a general question here.
Sorry, sir.
I'm audible. Ma'am, I'm audible.
Sir, your voice is not clear. If someone is able to listen Sir Asif properly, can you tell me?
Yes, sir. Can you please repeat again?
General question regarding this, that a lot of people recommend that you must you do not think about when you are speaking like grammar, lexical resources, or things like that when you start speaking. But when I start speaking, or when I have practice on a mock test, uh, so I get stuck when I'm speaking, because I jumble a lot of these things in my mind, like how to be correctly pronounce my uh, pronunciation, or this, or how to avoid mistakes or grammatical mistakes. So now, my question is that how I improve myself to speak fluently without thinking that it's a grammatical mistake or it's a pronunciation mistake like that. Thank you.
Sir, have
Ma'am
you know
Chivaya,
the
have you?
yes, sir, have you know the most common topics of speaking part one and part second? Have you make the list or following these topics? And have you prepare a vocabulary for these? And can you
No,
please tell me?
I haven't have idea about the most trending topics, but I'm preparing myself, like learning new vocabularies or reading different articles for that. Uh, I plan to give test
Uh,
in next month, but my this speaking portion is quite uh, low or quite poor, so I want to
uh,
improve it.
Yes, sir. You can just search on Google like most common topics about part one, part two, and part third, and then you will find the list. And after finding list, you can just search upon ChatGPT the model answer of these answer. You can give just your like detail about yourself. Like sometimes if you are not getting the proper answer from ChatGPT, then you can just add your information, and then ChatGPT will create a model answer. In this way, your vocabulary will definitely enhance, and you will get the idea. Like in part one, we have to answer the direct answer first, and after that, we have to elaborate our answer to into sentences. Ma'am, sir was asking about like I am finding difficulty in fluency, like I got stuck in answering while I am speaking. So you can also guide him.
Okay, sir, have fluency issues. So, sir are stuck in the middle of answers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That kind of, yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me the reason? What do you think? Why are you stuck in answer? What is the reason? Either it is the reason that you are lacking ideas, or it is the reason that you stuck to find right grammar or right words.
Yes, ma'am. The main reason which I'm thinking that when I start speaking, I always prefer uh, to see my how to keep eye on my grammar or pronunciation or like speaking. Vocabulary. So I want to pronounce these things correctly. So in that, I jumbled my idea in my mind, and so I can't speak well. Are you getting my point, ma'am?
Okay, so sometimes you have. I got some of the ideas because your voice is not clear, little bit very slow. So you are finding issues because in fluency, because sometimes you stuck to find the right word or grammatical issues like these things, not because of ideas.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like that. Yes.
Okay, so I think you, if you are stuck in just because of finding right word, there will be a different reason. One reason is that we're stuck in the fluency because we don't have ideas. One reason is that we're stuck in because one reason is that we are stuck because we don't know either we use noun, verb, or adjective. It is a language problem. We are not sure. One thing is that sometimes we are unable to use. or might be stuck when we're trying to using the complex structures in language. So these are the different things. If the issue is regarding fluency, like you are stuck in the middle, you need to initially make yourself to speak clearly and fluently. This should be your first goal, because I think producing simple sentences are not much difficult for all of us, because we have most of the institution have English medium way of instruction even in our university life. So I will definitely when I will conduct tomorrow practice session, you will come here and give the mock test, and then I will identify why are you stuck and what are your major problems. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, I've tried a lot to go search someone partner to speak with him or with her to clear or to speak clearly or to improve my fluency. I've searched on Discord or something like that, but I haven't find anyone uh, like that.
Sir, have you
I don't
joined
see why.
Discord? Yes, ma'am, continue.
Ma'am, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir, I was asking that have you joined the Discord server of arts? I find it really helpful for me that people are always available on Discord server and I can speak in the evening and morning.
Yes, ma'am, I have
Uh,
joined, but I can't find any partner like that. I've been message a lot of time, but couldn't find any that kind of partner. Could you
uh,
help me in this
uh,
regarding?
but I think in the evening many people are available on Discord, and I can suggest the two other Discord channel for you. You can also join these.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so I hope this is a good answer. If you're curious, if one thing I have suggested is come in the session and practice that, then I will be able to see what problem are you facing. Either these are the just because of language ideas, or there are other reasons. Sometimes we are not fluent because we are facing the same issue even in our native language. Like we have flavors, we are unable to speak fluently. We have some syllables even in our native language. If this is the case, then we need to work on it. Even we need to focus on it to reduce it, even if it is in our native language. So these are the different factors. However, we can see it when we will do practice. If I was able to deliver today topic, then we will move to the practice tomorrow. If we were not able to cover today topic, then we will cover it and then we will move to the practice. However, we usually discuss some topics on Monday class, and for the rest of week, we usually do practice. Ma'am,
Sir, sir, I will message you if you kindly tell your Discord handle, and I have shared my Discord username in chat.
Okay, ma'am, I am sharing.
okay, I hope so. You got there are different ways we can improve our lexical skills. One way is to vary the part of speech. One way is to change the word, and but we need to be careful uh, that we should not make any collocation issues while mm, using these words together, like we're grouping the words. So my screen is visible or not?
Ma'am, it's loading.
uh, is it still not visible? there are some internet issues might be your face. I'm facing this problem. In the meanwhile, Sakri is sharing, I'm sharing just two sentences s- when I am speaking those sentences. So if you are still really interested in investing my hometown anytime soon, give me a call. So these are the words which was really interested, hometown and call. These are the formal words. These are common words. Let's take another example. So if you are still itching to visit my neck of the woods anytime soon, give me a buzz. In the previous example, call was used, but in this example, buzz was used. So buzz is less common words. Hometown is a common word. Neck of the woods is less common word. Really interesting, itching to visit. Really interested is common word, like urging to visit is less common word. So these are the different ways we can use it. Let me reshare it. So it is share. I have told you to these two examples. You can see here if you are still really interested, and what are the different between common and less common words. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
the one way, but one way I hope so you got. Let's discuss about another article where you can, I will discuss how we can, what we can do if we want to learn new vocabularies. But these are the certain things. So lexical source and its role in improving test score. This I think this is the, you can say most of the things which are discussed here is same as which is discussed in the above video. So
Yes,
so let's say we can say what as I discussed is definition in the previous article, like it is designed to show individuals how they can achieve a better score by developing their skill in this area. So the word lexical literally relating to the words of vocabulary which I have mentioned here. What is the lexical? Basically we're discussing about how we are using different type of words, how we are varying our vocabulary, and how we can vary in the different contexts, and even sometimes we can change the synonym, and sometimes we can change the part of speech. Refers to a range of vocabulary a person uses in their speaking test. As this video explains, it is not enough for them to simply memorize a long list of words. They must also use the vocabulary effectively. So one way is to just memorize few words, but how we can use effectively, as I mentioned in the previous thing, like we need to be careful for collocation when we are grouping the words together. When heavy rain is the one example, we can't say strong rain. You can say lines road. You can't say the lions shoot. We can say that people shout, but we can't say lions road. Like we can say dark bark, we can't say dark speak. So these are the different collocation issues, and we need to make sure we are using or grouping words together rightly. We make a phone call, we do not do a phone call. So you can say we make a phone call, like we make a tea. We do not do a phone call. So here do verb is not right while using a phone call. So we need to make sure we are using the word make a phone call. So connotation is that words are indifferent. Some words are positive, some are neutral, some are negative association. For example, laid back is generally positive, inactive is neutrally, like you can't say person is either doing physical exercise or not. But lazy is a usually negative word. When we say the person is lazy, it's mean the person is, we're talking about negative context, like person is not doing things quickly, like that person is not doing some like if we are saying the person is not active, so that person is not doing physical exercises. So some words are neutral, some are positive, and some are negative. Lazy, you can see here is a negative word. So when we talk about lazy, it means that person is not willing to work or use his energy. So sometimes we use this word in negative context. If we talk about the word famous, famous is a word when a person is popular. How for their good deeds, like that person has started some organization, that person is successful in terms of career. So they are different words. But when we use the word notorious, it means person who is popular but due to bad habits, and that can be, for example, smoking. So you can say both. Famous is positive word, notorious is negative word. Famous is used when person is successful and due to, and popular and got the fame due to his positive deeds. But the person is famous but due to the negative acts, for example, smoking, whatever that person is not doing, like that person is spreading negative things on social media. So in that context, we will use notorious. Notorious is negative word. So one thing which we also discussed in the previous article, we need to use less common vocabulary in the right way to demonstrate that a speaker understands what they are saying. So these factors will be considered in the context of everyday topics with general relevance in all of the countries where IELTS is used. Specialist knowledge is not expected, but a good vocabulary will certainly be an asset. So we know this is not a knowledge test, this is a language test, and we need to make sure we are using everything right. So now one question comes, how we can improve our vocabulary. So many participants even ask me, so we have discussed certain way, we need to use less common words, we can avoid the uh, repetition of same word. If a word is children, we can say kids. In the next sentence, in the following sentence, then we can again say toddler instead of using the word children again and again. And there's one way we can use prefer, preference in the form of adjective, and preferable in the form of noun. And these are the different parts of speech we can use. But what we do if we want to learn some words related to that topic, so this video provides some useful tips to help. Okay, so looking out for new words and noting their context with understanding of word meaning, usage and collocation, such as in online newspaper. So what way is to we need to read online newspaper, and what was recommended done on newspaper. In the opinion section, you need, if you read opinion section, it will also help us to improve your reading skills. So there are different newspapers, you can read different newspaper whatever you want, and we need to say what is the context of that word, and what is the use and how this word is grouped together. If we talk about the word bank, there are two bank. One bank is we use when we where we save money. So can anybody tell what is the second bank meaning?
Ma'am, it's a river bank, side of a river.
And what does mean in the context of river?
Mm. Ask what is the next meaning of bank. One bank we have saving money, etc. And the next bank we call side of a river.
Yeah, we usually call the side of the river. So in that context, we can identify the how the bank word is used in different contexts, and we can only be able to identify it when we will be able to understand the context. So this is one thing, and what is the another thing? How we can improve our vocabulary? So another useful is to group new vocabulary. How we can group new vocabulary in, like how we can memorize. Okay, if you are making 100 word in just 5, you will not able to learn it. What we used to do, this is a very good tips, and many people do this even in this test. It is the grouping of words. How we group the words, we use mind map technique. What is the mind map technique? Let's discuss it.
Ma'am,
So I hope so. My screen is visible now. How? Let's see what is the
yes,
mind map technique. Another useful
ma'am,
tip.
uh, ma'am, I think
Yes, ma'am.
in my perspective, that it's not matter. Like we all know that we should use complex sentence and less common vocabulary. But I think the thing that is matter is just practice. And when we speak, and after speaking, the other person have to correct our phrases, our sentences. I think it a matter of practice.
Yeah, just learning new vocabulary is not enough. We need to use it, and we will discuss this tip which is mentioned here. So, uh, another useful tip is to group new vocabulary into related subjects such as sports. So we need to create a mind map, like even you can create a list like sports, tourism, environment, and then you can words related to sport you can put in that category, and then you can put words related to environment in that category, rather than making long list of unrelated words. So these are very difficult to memorize. So when we will group words together based on the topic or subject, it will be really helpful. And what people do for this, they usually do mind maps, create mind maps. So I will show the mind map if time left. This video also encourage, we need to also use synonyms. Nerves can cause people to forget words or struggle to find the correct word. So one thing I was why we're unable to fluent, while we're unable to find the word, it means sometimes we're stressed, and sometimes at that time we forget the words, and that's the reason we say we don't need to use some new words which we have never used in the real exam. So before the exam, if you are learning new word, it's mean you need to use in your daily conversation in order to learn that word usage. They can get credit for explaining the meaning or paraphrasing. So having a range of synonyms to draw on can be helpful. This also make a thesaurus a valuable tool. And research tells us that practice has a positive impact on our stress score. So you should therefore encourage individuals to practice by trying to use the new vocabulary. So this is the one thing which I have mentioned, that you need to um, practice, like you need to use those words. If you are learning, just learning is not enough. We need to use those words correctly, and in certain cases these words are helpful, and in certain cases these words are not helpful. Let me open one more article in which we can see the mind map technique. I think we have 15 to 7 minutes. We can discuss what is the mind map. Anyone has idea what is the mind map for learning vocabulary?
Ma'am, I think it's a technique in which when you are start speaking, you clearly make a picture or a map in your mind how to speak, uh, what to speak, and what's the beginning, what is the middle, what's the ending of my speak. So I think it's my mind map.
No, mind map is not a technique used in speaking. It is a technique to group words together to learn different vocabulary.
Then
It is mind map is a technique people usually list words together based on the different subjects and things, and then what they do, they usually why they use this technique in order to learn different words. Let me show that mind map how it works. How to use mind maps to build your vocabulary source fast. So you know it is necessary both in speaking and writing as well. It helps us to uh, make your comprehension easy while doing reading if you know different words. So we will discuss how we can create it. When we learn a language, not only do we learn words and phrases that relate to everyday survival, we also pick up language related to everyday topics, things that are happening in the world around us. So when you prepare for an IELTS test, You need to get familiar with a wider range of topics to make it easier for you to assess appropriate vocabulary and ideas related to these topic areas. So, having a wider range is one of the keys to great performance. So, you can build your vocabulary source by reading daily. So, one way is how we can expand, as I have discussed, we can read daily different newspapers, different books. But newspaper is okay because they are discussing different topics on it. Sometimes book is just, if we are reading one long book, it means it is just related to one topic. So when we read news, there are different topics are discussed on it. Watching English programs and movies, singing in English, and by studying word lists. So there are different ways we can improve our vocabulary. By increasing your range of vocabulary, it is easier to think of words to say quickly, and it helps us to understand the topic you are listening to, reading, writing, or speaking about. Let's say you are going to talk about how you prepare the one recipe. Let's say we can say how you are going to prepare one recipe, and you don't know the name and ingredients of that word in another language, then you will definitely become stuck while speaking, because you need to find the words what is translated in foreign language, which is in English, instead of in your native language. Sometimes we don't know even many vegetables, like if we don't know many vegetables name and we're discussing about the recipe of mix. Let's say we're discussing about the mixed vegetable. This is a curry which is we eat. So what are the different things we put? Cabbage, carrot, but we don't know the name of these vegetables in English. Then how you are going to tell a recipe in a person to a person who is not living in your country? So at that time we also stuck. It also affect our fluency if we don't know the words. So we have certain words at least at a basic level so that we can describe different things. So let's move to the mind map quickly. Mind maps are an easy way to help organize your ideas. They are also a great way to prepare for IELTS, as you will have all of your ideas and language connected to one topic in one place. So if you are making 1,000 words in your sheet and you want to get relevant, and you put all the words randomly. So if you want to go through some words related to sports topic, then you need to go through the entire list. But if you have already grouped all these words based on the topic sport, it means you will be able to memorize them as well as able to find them when you need them. Moreover, you can easily learn those words instead of learning them 1,000 words, because learning words related to topic is much easier than related to memorizing a lot of words without any subject or topic. Just you are going through a variety of topics, and there is a high chance you will forget all those words even in the exam when you are stressed. Let's think of a simple mind map. If you said, let's say, what is this exam, when we someone name this word as, it means they will definitely will come variety of words in your mind. Let's say you will say it's a test, someone say it's an exam, someone say there's a reading, writing, listening, speaking, examiner. Definitely there will be an examiner in this exam. We need to write, we have computer, we need to learn, we have a paper based exam, we have time, we will run out of time. It will be difficult, there will be a spelling issues, like in listening answers, grammar issues, vocabulary, time management. These are the different things which we related to this word. Recording, start, true, false, not given, overview, graph, process. I hope so when we name something, it means there are a lot of words are coming in mind. So this is the grouping. Even though you have a long list of words in no particular order, you need to organize this language. So these are the are unordered list. How you will identify, like, what will, if we put some words which is related to relevant like graph, process, it will be easy to understand the information instead of all these putting in a unorganized way. Like if you put pronunciation in the speaking part, it will be definitely easy to understand where we need to improve in this part. So I hope so this is how we organize the uh, different things. But how people create a mind map in the visual form, in many shapes and form. You might be a person that like lists. As I mentioned, we can create number of lists like in the Excel based on the topics like sports, tourism, and we can put under each category different words. But some people don't like to these things. Some people, what they do, they usually put ideas and words in the form of ideas. Some people do like to use boxes or circle. Some people use highlight keywords with arrows and color. Your mind map needs to include as much language connected to the topic. So when we're categorizing the thing, it's mean we need to put in the form of connection, like we need to put relevant thing in the relevant box. So some people use mind mapping, like visualize them, like in the form of graph. The most important function of mind map is organize information. We came to know that how it helps. We can organize the information in different forms. From the perspective of English as a second language, you will also include parts of speech in your diagram to mind you which verbs, noun, and adverbs, adjectives, and phrasal verbs you should use when thinking about a particular topic. So why we further subdividing in the form of verbs, nouns, because it's a language and we need to know about all these things. So let's say men, a mind map can be divided into two areas covering areas and examples, vocabulary, parts of speech. So here they created the mind map. Let's see what they have. Um, there are different type of maps. Sometimes we're just finding. Let's say we're finding about different things related topic. Like if we're talking about famous places, then we will definitely write about different advantages and disadvantages of living in that place. And then we will describe about some example, and then what future development can be happen. So this is what which we are talking about in our area. But what if we are learning words? So what we will do, we will write a one word and we'll describe all relevant synonyms, and then we will divide what are the noun and words. Idiomatic language we can also write it. If we are talking about feelings, we can say I was over the moon. This is a idiom. So we can use some idiomatic language here which we can use in that context. Then we can separate the adjective, and then we further separate verb into two forms. There are some model verbs like can, could, should, and there are some phrasal words like take and off. These are the two different words where they are used, and when these words are used, these are called the phrasal verb. And phrasal verb have different meaning. When you can't say I'm taking this thing. When we use the word taking off, what it means? This is a phrasal verb, and when off is added, what it means? You are dropping off, like you are taking off, you're dropping something off. So this is delay, you can say that. So
Yes,
there are
no.
different meanings. Many people say it's a context of certain thing. We can say we are removing things, taking off. So certain phrases were seem the meaning as original, but they have opposite meaning. So we need to be careful. So I hope so. You got choose a topic from the list at the bottom of this article and think of ideas related to it. To help create your mind map, choose words that describe these ideas and examples that will make your description clear. Okay, we will talk about negative things. uh, so these are the different maps. We can say they give the examples of interest and hobbies. Why do I do this hobby? Where I do? Is it good? What equipment do I need to perform that hobby? So you can say they talk about swimming, and you can say all both verbs are related to swimming. So they give four different answers for each activity. They swim because it keeps them fit, and it helps with my asthma. Some people have breathing problem. If they swim, they can like it help them to improve their breathing. I train where they train local community pool. You can say it's a 5 meter pool, and some you can say a bit further to get the other end. It is generally quiet, and I usually get a lane to myself. Swimming is a great sport cardiovascular fitness, and why they are doing this, it builds muscles and help with flexibility. So all board sports are related to swimming. First, you can say they created a one map here. In terms of questions like hobbies, why do they do home at home? It can be at school, it can be at gym, it can be at indoor outdoor, it can be in a what they have written pool, it can be in sea. So you can say If we, let's say we talk about swimming, it can be in a pool. If we talk about some activities that can be done at school, there are some exercises which we can do gym. And then why do I do, there are different reasons. If you're performing some hobbies, some people find interesting, some people want to make themselves like they want to enjoy the time, some people want to do for educational purpose, some want to make themselves healthy. So there are the different reasons people adopt these things. So is it good for me? Yeah, it can increase fitness, it can lose weight. So then what do I need? We need different things. If we talk about swimming, we need swimming cap. If we talk about running as a hobby, we need running shoes. We need, if we talk about gym, then we need gym clothes, goggles. These are used in the context of swimming. Sky. So these are the different equipment we need. So we can see there are different way in which we can create mind map. Let's search some mind map on.
Yes, ma'am, I want to add something. My voice is clear.
Yes, it is clear now. You can just speak a little bit loud. And
Okay, ma'am. Uh, okay, ma'am. From today lecture, as you have discussed mind map, what I have get from that for every activity, for every different activity, you have different vocabulary. You have to use different vocabulary. Like as we have discussed, like uh, for hobbies, you have to use something like different vocabulary. For your daily activities, you need to use different vocabularies. So I think I'm right now here, what I have learned from today.
so you are saying we need to use a different vocabulary every day in daily life, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, sir, you are right. We need to use different words every day. But it's mean when we are learning new words, it's mean we need to not only learn those words, but we need to use practice. The one thing which I have discussed while sharing the information, we need to practice every word daily which we are learning new, and we don't need to use it just in the real exam, because there are more chances we will not be able to use uh, correctly if we are not habitual of using these words.
Okay, ma'am. So we have 3 minutes left. I want to ask a question. Uh, Tomorrow, what we will discuss? Mock test or
We will start our practice tomorrow because I have discussed the topic of today completely. So from tomorrow onwards and the remaining classes of this week, we will do speaking test practice.
okay, ma'am. For which part what you will discuss?
Sir, I have already discussed all of the parts. So we usually do, even it depends on number of participants and time. If there are multiple participants and they want to give like um, test. So if multiple participants are giving part one test, then if time left, we can do part two and part three. Sometimes we can practice the entire test even. So if you want to give the mock test for entire part, you can give me. It is not a problem.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So uh, we have just 1 or 2 minutes. So do you have any other question you may ask?
No, ma'am. Thank you. Actually, it's my first day here. I haven't have idea to that speaking session is also allowed here. So inshallah, from today I will join regularly and will contribute.
Definitely, yes.
Um,
Yes, we are already doing practice there. And have you registered your exam?
no, no, ma'am. Actually, I plan to register for the coming month. Inshallah, in
Alright.
coming 15th of May, I plan to take a test.
So, have you prepared remaining modules?
Yes, ma'am. Listening up till now, I have 6.5 to 7 bands in my practice mock test, and in reading 6.5 to 7, I'm writing and speaking. Now I'm practicing for that. Uh, on writing, actually, I'm using ChatGPT. So I made my bands through this. So up till now, I have 4.5 to 5 or 5.5 to 6 bands on my writing. I'm struggling here in speaking. Actually, I'm lacking. My speaking is quite poor. So I want to improve here.
Okay, you are getting like 4.5 to 5 and listening. I think you should list module is easy. You should like aim for a little bit higher. You 6.5 at 7 you are getting, but there might be a chance sometime even test might come a little bit harder. So you should at least get like 34 to 35 score consistently.
Yes, ma'am. In reading and listening, I have touched a 7.5 even, but in writing, actually, I'm very poor and speaking. I'm trying to struggle to improve these two modules.
Yeah, definitely come in the session and practice here. You can also do the mock test here, practice here, and get the feedback from people. Apart from that, try to improve the score of other modules because listening is easy to get high score. You just need a few strategies for each part. Like you need to highlight before it, and then you need to be focused. If you are focused and you are able to understand the entire conversation, then you will be able to mark it correctly. So try to achieve some more score in these parts because under some exam condition we can might be got some lower score sometimes even with the margin of one band can be can be lower and can be higher even. So try to aim little bit score more in modules and try to analyze if you're achieving those score consistently.
Yes, ma'am. I have stopped practicing on listening and reading because consistently I have getting 6.5 or 6. So I think I haven't have any improvement further. So I have stopped there and start writing and speaking session. And want to improve these two modules.
Okay, new session is I think I will start in the 3 p.m. It's an I don't recommend you start your practicing and prefer to other module. Even if I find some difficulties to restarting the module if you left your practice, and I think there will be a new session might be at 3 p.m. Try to go there and ask why you are stuck at 6.5. You want to improve your score more because 6.5 is score, but this is not get you at least because sometimes we can get little bit score even you should aim one or more bands high. Even listening is very easy. I think there will be a new session at 3 p.m. So you go there and ask your question that
Mm.
you are
Okay,
stuck
sure.
at 6.5 and you want to improve. I would say don't don't stop your practice. We're out of
Mm.
time and I need to end the session. I hope so you get the answer of your question. Otherwise, you join that session and you can ask the questions.
Thank you very much.